Welcome to day 244 of our DeSo journey, sponsored by CryptoJoys. Brian, do you have anything about CryptoJoys to say today?
Yeah, as you may have known by listening to our other videos, they had a drop party last night at 8 p.m. I actually went into the room. They sold out all 10 of the crypto droids they dropped pretty quickly. It was just like bid after bid after bid. Lane told me to thank everybody who supported them, who have bought their NFTs, who's been collecting and supporting their project. Next Tuesday, they're having a best derivative contest, which ends on Tuesday. You can make a post and tag Crypto Droids. It's for Crypto Droid number 31. And they're having another drop number 4 on December 14th. So about 3 or so weeks from now. So stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the Crypto Droids. So I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother, Brian, and we have a special guest today, Edo Kufu, who is known on DeSo for creating DeSo Social World and DeSo Social NL. And we're going to get into that. How's it going? How's it going, Edo?
I'm doing great, fine. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for coming on. We'll get to what you're doing on the platform, because you're doing a lot, and I think you're doing some really important things. In just a few minutes, we just want to touch on a little bit of the news. There really wasn't too much news yesterday. Natter invested $10,000 into—
Well, not Natter. Who am I?
Who am I? Oh, I'm sorry. Who am I? Which may or may not be Natter. Invested $10,000 into Will Mitchell. This came after Mitchell made a post about the verification process and how he is a little bit discouraged over the fact that there's been so many OGs on DeSo who have yet to be verified, yet there's these anonymous accounts that pop up onto the platform and seemingly automatically verify. Natter apologized, and he went on to say that we do have a verification system in the works, and that's coming soon. But yeah, congrats to Will Mitchell for that. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, and Will actually got verified, I believe, as well. So that's good for him. I do know that they are looking at a thing called associations for verification, which, if it does get implemented, it would allow each node to kind of have their own verification system, and then other nodes can— it doesn't have to be even nodes. It can be verification systems by users, and then nodes would be able to kind of tap into that those associations that are made by the users. So it's interesting what they could be doing here, and I think that is the best route to go. But I do think that it takes a lot of coding, and it's going to be a little bit tough to like figure out all the kinks. And I'm guessing that they're waiting till after the Coinbase listing to kind of go over that, because there is a code freeze right now.
Yeah, Edo, since you run 2 separate nodes, what are your thoughts on verification? I know you do some verification of your own.
Yeah, well, I think it's really how to say, expected and hoped for by the community, because there's a lot of people like me who've been working on DeSo for a long time, either creators or builders, and they experience exactly like you said, right? There's like people seemingly coming out of the blue and they get verified, and people who have been working hard do not get verified, or do not get verified yet, and they would appreciate it as a sign of appreciation for their work so far. And that triggered me also on my node to basically start blue checking people that I feel add value for the community, because that's an interesting thing. Eh? Each node owner as such has the ability to do so. So that messaging also triggered me. Let's start doing that.
Yeah, and I think associations are going to help. We're going to see what it is. Yeah. Nobody really knows exactly how the system will work, but we'll see. Also yesterday, Hiten Shah, I don't know if I should say yesterday, but since he's come onto the platform in the last couple of days, he has been super active and super engaging, and it's been like a breath of fresh air. Like, he's providing a lot of interesting conversations. He's starting a lot of interesting conversations, and he's posting polls.
Yeah, he posted a poll yesterday. For those who don't know, he's very well known within the crypto space. I think he has 255,000 followers on Twitter. mainly crypto and entrepreneurial people. So him being on DeSo is big because it could draw in a lot of other crypto enthusiasts as well as entrepreneurs. The poll he posted, I took it, and it was basically two questions. And the first one was, how likely are you on a scale from 1 to 10 to recommend friends to DeSo? And then the second question was, why did you pick your score? And then he allowed you to kind of introduce yourself to him as like a third question. And it told you to follow him on DeSo. So I love how he's interacting with the community, getting feedback from people, and who knows what he's going to do next. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of project being built by him. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, it's just good to see active new people come onto the platform. And, hopefully this Coinbase listing helps propel that forward a little bit. But let's get into what you're doing, Ado. DeSocial World and DeSocial NL. They're both individual nodes, which look a lot like Diamond App, but they both have really interesting features for the international community.
Correct. So actually it's one node, but two apps have been built on top of that same node. And what DeSocial World does is, as one of the things we have right now, is it offers a country feed in 12 languages. So whether a message is posted in Hindi or Chinese or Spanish or whatever other languages, it's shown in that feed. And it doesn't matter whether they are posted on Diamond App or bitcloud.com or any other node, right? They're in the DeSo blockchain. So whenever a message in a specific language is in the feed, we pick it up and we show it there. And that's really cool. People are looking for that. The other app you refer to, DeSocial NL, is an app that has basically translated the site as a whole in Dutch. And that lowers the barrier for Dutch people to use it. So instead of saying buy creator coin in Dutch, it says koop je creator coin. And that lowers the barrier for people to actually use the site. And maybe not so much for the Dutch, because they're pretty well educated in English. But some other countries worldwide, and we're working on a translation also in other languages. We feel from the community that they say, people have difficulty onboarding because it's in English, it's not well spoken. So if you can offer that language also on DeSocial World, again, there will be a whole bunch of people entering DeSo, which we feel is a good thing.
So if you're a user going onto DeSocial World, does it detect your language automatically, or do you have to select a language?
Your language is automatically detected based on the language you have in your browser. So it sets the feed you have to the language you have, assuming it's one of the 12, right? And you can then still select by going to the when it's in Dutch, you can go to Dutch and you click it, and you see multiple language to choose from. So you can also see all the feeds in Chinese. You can see the feeds in Japanese, in Russia, which is a pretty big community on these. So there's quite a few.
Yeah, I think like as English speakers and Americans, a lot of us, I'm talking about Ed and I think a lot of us kind of take for granted that everything, not everything, but a lot of the internet is in English. And if you kind of think, what if the internet was all in German and we were going to a website like DeSo? We would definitely need some kind of service like yours, like DeSo World, where you can select the English language and see all the posts in English. So, I mean, this is great. This is a really valuable tool for the entire community, because it's going to bring on and help onboard some of the international users that might not be too literate in the English language. So this is a really, really cool project. I hope that you continue working on it. I hope you guys get funding. I think that it's a really important project for the entire ecosystem.
Well, I was just going to say real fast, it's not about using it as a tool because you don't understand English, because so many people do understand English throughout the world. But why make them have to deal in English? Why not allow them to read DeSo in their native language. It's just not fair not to allow them to, in my opinion, you know? So
it's a way, the language is also a way of decentralization, right?
Yep.
You have
Exactly.
like as the central language. Well, why not enable decentralization via the language? I noticed that I was connecting Dutch people, and they didn't know of one another that they were Dutch, simply because they were only communicating in English on the platform.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's not, sorry to interrupt, but it's not a cool feature of the language feed, because it shows the people who are posting. And you can see basically all your fellow countrymen and women, and choose to follow them. So it's also a very easy way to find friends in your local language.
that's an
yeah,
awesome
exactly.
point.
It's funny because like on our honeymoon, we went to Iceland, and
Yeah.
Iceland has their own native language, but most of the Icelandic people speak English to one another. So I was like thinking, like, how do they even know who's actually from Iceland and who's not from Iceland, and if they can even speak Icelandic or whatever the language is. I'm sorry, I don't know the language.
Icelandic. Yeah.
To each other. And I think this is a good example. Like the same thing here, like it helps people meet people that they know are native speaking in their own language. So I think that's, like you said, that's a really important tool as well, because it helps connect people to people that kind of understand them better.
True, true.
Yeah,
So it's almost a barrier.
yeah, I have a similar story. I was in, I think it was in Copenhagen, Denmark, and I was in an elevator, and there were people that were in the elevator speaking English to each other, and I could tell that they were from Denmark. And after the one couple gets out of the elevator, I asked them, I'm like, why are you speaking English to these people? Why aren't you speaking your native language? And they're like, well, we do, but we always speak English first until we know the other person speaks their native language. But it's like they cater, I feel like they're catering to the English, to people who speak English, when they shouldn't have to be doing that. You know, you should be able to speak your native language to your countrymen and others who speak that language.
But we also have Hindi in the feed. It's the main language of India. It's spoken by 100 millions of people. So why not welcome them on DeSo via their own language?
Exactly. So what else can your node and these two websites do for users? I know we have the feeds.
Yeah.
What else do they do?
So they have the feeds. They show by ranking what countries are doing good in their that are posting in their native language. Well, the Dutch is leading. I guess that's because they had the social node in Dutch, and there's a quite strong Dutch community, so they tend to communicate in Dutch, so they rank well. But it's the feeds. We are working on translation of the site as a whole. So you get like the English version of the front end, you get the Dutch version, the Spanish, Russian, etc. And in a proof of concept, we already have the auto translate function up and running. So you do not only get to see the original post, but you get an auto translate of the original post. And
Very
I
nice.
mean, it's not perfect. It's not scalable yet at this point, but we have it up and running. And you refer to the Octane Fund or any other support we may get. We would use it to further develop and scale that type of features.
How about an
Awesome.
onboarding process? Do you have an onboarding process in a native language yet, or is that something that's you're still working on? So like if somebody wants to sign up to DeSo, do they have to take the tutorial in English, or are you going to have?
Good point, but it's not on the roadmap yet. But like we need it in English, it would be good to have any other language.
Yeah, so I think what you're doing is phenomenal. I love the idea, and I think it's required if we want, like you said, we want DeSo to truly be decentralized, and we want people from all over the globe to come onto the platform and start exchanging ideas and using the platform.
And they because it's there, I get in touch with these people. And yeah, they tell me all the time, go build, go build. Hey, we want this, we need this. So it will simply help. And it's like all on DeSo, there's not one silver bullet, right? All the things will help. A great NFTs project like you're doing with the Van Halen brothers, that's helping. That's drawing a special kind of people to the platform. If we all do that, all with our own node, eventually everybody will benefit from that. And the language thing, the thing that bonds communities together, that's the thing where we add value.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And like we're all kind of a team. Like your project's going to help our project, and our project's going to help your project, because we're going to be attracting more people. And when there's new people might come to NFTZ, some of them might be German speakers, and they're going to want to go to your node to kind of help them understand what's going on better. So I think like we all kind of complement one another, and not just us, but all the other 120 projects that are out there right now. So that's what's so great. Like we all have incentive to help one another rather than compete, you know?
True. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Ado, for taking part in this conversation and helping make others aware of your nodes, because I don't think everybody on DeSo knows that, they can go to another node and read posts in their own language. So I think it was a valuable conversation, and I think you're going to have some more people checking out your websites. And it's just the URL is just desocialworld.com. Am I correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And desocialnl.com, is it, or .nl?
It's desocial.nl.
Desocial.nl. There you go.
Makes sense.
And we'll make
They're
sure we
both running
tag you in the.
Yeah, they're both running on the DeSocial World node.
Okay, that's awesome. Good to know. All right. Well, thanks again, Ado.
Sure. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.